도전까지 다 했어. 비트 더 게임. 지금까지 스탠리 패러블이라고 하려고 그랬는데.
생생꼬물님 별풍선 10개 감사합니다. 지린당.
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it.
아,
If he
뭐지?
checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
전화를
When
받아볼까
Stanley
진짜?
came to a set of two open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
처음에 되게 하하호호 웃으면서 했는데 와
Look,
이제 좀
Stanley, I think
소름이야.
perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
아 저기로 가볼 걸 그랬나?
This is it,
이분 전화 받으려고.
Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's
아까
her,
전화선
Stanley.
끊었거든요 제가.
You need to be the one to do this.
Oh, Stanley, is that you?
뭐지?
Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
스탠이라는 이름을 가진 남자의 죽음? 싫어. F 누를래, C 누를래.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
아니 이거 싫어. 전멸 빼게 했네.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown.
아 이런 전개 처음이에요?
Fantastic discoveries of new lands.
나도 처음이야 이 게임.
It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to
와
him.
잠깐만. 여러분들 처음에 되게 말 안 들으면서 했잖아. 결국에 지금 내가 스탠리가 됐어. 처음에 설명한 그 스탠리.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped out from
결국에
his
지금
desk
스탠리처럼
to
행동하고
realize that
있어.
all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished.
와 너무 소름인데?
The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths
잠깐만.
and destinations.
이거
Down one path,
내가 처음에
led an enormous round
있던
room
사무실로
with
바뀌는 것 같지
monitors
않아요?
and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another
그쵸.
was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
아, 누르지 말아볼까? 와, 이거 진짜 심리학자가 만든 게임인가?
But there is no answer.
야, 봐봐!
Possibly.
아까 그
In
사무실이야!
reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed.
근데 안에
The longer
없다며,
he
나한테.
spends here, the more invested he gets. The more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this. That in this world he can never be anything but an observer. That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
그치만 타요는 버튼을 눌렀어.
Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
이건 누르지 않아. 아, 누를까? N을 눌러볼까? 기다려볼까? 30초만 기다려볼까? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 8 눌러야 돼 이거.
Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose.
L이었고
I'll try once more to
Y였고.
convey all this to him. I'm compelled
처음에
to.
S였고.
I must.
잠깐만 우리가 입력한 게 지금
Perhaps.
스탠리인가?
Well, maybe this time he'll see.
아닌데 A는 없었던 것 같은데.
Maybe this time. And I tried again.
죽으세요?
Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
아 미치겠네 이 게임.
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted.
The end is never.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
아까 저런 거 없었는데.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
아까 거기서 내려가 볼까? 아예 떨어지는 거 말고 중간에 떨어지는 데 있었잖아요. 거기로 한번 가볼까? 거기 한 번도 안
This
가봤잖아.
was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded,
중간길.
butterflies in his stomach. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following
여기
directions, it's
원래
incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
나무 판자 없었던 것 같은데? 정희님 채팅 치지 마세요.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
아, 이렇게 나오면 어떡해. 자, 이거 어디로 들어가지? 어디로 갈까요? 정치색이라고? 아, 나 파란색으로 가볼래.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the
아,
red
난 파란색으로
door.
가볼래.
I still don't think we're communicating
아,
properly.
나는
Stanley walked
색으로
through
가볼래.
the red door.
난 파란색으로 갈 거야.
Stanley, you want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I
그렇네.
haven't even
다시
finished building this
갈게요.
section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours.
점프 안 돼.
What would have
아까
made this
점프
game
누르니까
better? What did you
조종까지
want to
달성하더라.
see? Vehicles? Skill
점프
trees?
못 한다고?
Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
야, 그 얘기 너무 대놓고 들어가고 싶게 만들었잖아. 이제 와서 어떻게 말을 잘 들어. 그 대놓고 들어가고 싶게 만들어놨는데.
Okay, I'm going to stop you
그 애초에
there.
이 게임
Now, tell me about
되게
your
사람-
experience with this new version.
특히
Would you say
게임이다
that the
보니까
game benefited from
다른 선택지를
allowing you
고르고
more choices?
싶게 돼요. 왜냐면
Feel free to be
왼쪽으로
honest. I'm
갔습니다.
looking for
라고
some real
하는데 오른쪽
critical
문이
feedback
같이
here.
열리는데. 어? 이거 5개 중에 누르라고? 4는 뭔가 불안해. 1점 주자. 별점 테러 하자. 별점 테러.
One? I mean, I can understand if you had reservations, you saw ways the game could be improved to more fully express itself mechanically and
아, 또 이거
artistically.
정치색이라고 할
But
거 아니야.
one? That's not even helpful. What am I supposed to do with that? But I guess it isn't my place to judge. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
월드 와이드 리더보드래. 뒤진 시간인가봐. 이게 나고. 나 7시간 안 했는데?
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
이번에 5 줘야겠다.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
오, 주니까 또 바뀌었어.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger.
아,
You click the button to
잠깐만.
move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
4시간을 어떻게 4시간을 버텨야 된대. 현황이야? 4시간 동안 누르면 엔딩 바뀌어요? 오바야. 아 이거 진짜. 아 그 4시간 4시간을 여러분들 유튜브에서 따로 보시고요. 저는 이거 못하겠습니다.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely
어떻게 4시간 동안 이걸 하고 있어? 심지어 소리도 이거 사람이 4시간 동안 누르기 싫게 만들어놨어. 이거 의도한 거예요, 얘가.
I'm out, I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was
의도한 거야,
extremely
이거.
valuable.
이거 소리도 되게
Okay,
듣기
since my
싫은
game was so
소리.
awful, why
그
don't we play someone else's
4시간이라는
game, just to ease the
굉장히
pain?
긴 시간.
Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
뭐야?
Well,
마인크래프트 아니야?
Stanley, is this any better? At last, the one thing you've always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do
Nothing.
with. But is it enough? Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever be enough? Well, I'll say this. I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house. This will go here. No, here.
서버 알려달라고요?
Let's see, what does it need? Yes, of course. And just to finish it all off, yes, it's complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own
그러니까 누가
inadequacy.
보면은 방금 썰내임 보고 타요
But you've only
마인크래프트
seen
하네?
it from the outside.
이러면서
You've only
들어오겠는데?
gotten half the experience. Please step inside and make yourself comfortable. Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect? It could only be better if. Wait, that's it. We
채광하러
must
가지고?
rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond everything. Yes, yes, yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
싫은데? 네.
Oh my! It looks like it's going to
안녕하세요.
get a bit
BJ
dark. We
양철
brought a light.
팀관입니다. 근데 이거 캐는 키는 뭐지?
Oh, no. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay, new game.
뭐야? 와 진짜 미치겠네 이 게임. 와 뭐야? 흑탈 이번에?
Yes! I don't even know
흑탈
what this
아니에요?
game is, but I love it. You, trapped in a glass box with no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
같은 밸브니까.
Oh, it's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley. Your forte. Genius.
포탈은
No,
어렵지
you know
않지.
what? I think that's plenty. I really don't care much to see you stumble through any more of these games, and I highly doubt you're
Oh?
any wiser for the experience. Which is why, rather than continue to waste my time, I'm just going to leave you here. You can pretend you've beaten the game if it makes it any richer for you, but as for me, I've had enough. So, why don't you get cozy in this room, and if you have any grand revolutionary ideas for the perfect video game, you can just...
조카 임마!
파라상향됐다님 별풍선 10개 감사합니다. 뱅실화야.
잠깐만, 이거는 뭐지? 이거는 무조건 떨어지게 돼 있는데 보니까 갈 수 있는 길이 없어. 그쵸? 여기 아까 거기잖아. 그 여자 아닌가?
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
이 게임은 뭐 진엔딩 이런 거 없고 그냥 유저에 따라 엔딩 다르대.
내 목에 줄 세계 내가 살아온 그때의 느낀 색깔 두고두고 담아왔던 생각 위로 풀었지 빈틈도 없이